What is going on, my fellow floppers, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, guys, we are going to be going ahead and discussing the best Cooper Carbine class setup within Call of Duty Vanguard. Now, I know, of course, I do a wide range of different videos, and you've not seen a best class setup video for quite some time. So if you do enjoy today's video, you want to see more best class setups, especially with the run up to Modern Warfare 2 and throughout Modern Warfare 2, if this is what you want to see again on the channel, like I used to do all the time, then feel free to let me know down below, and let me know if you use this setup, and also let me know what kind of setup you are running yourselves for this weapon. But if you do enjoy today's video, guys, definitely smash that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications, because we are on the road to 15,000 subscribers. So if you can go ahead and hit that before Modern Warfare 2, that'd be absolutely insane. But anyway, let's jump right into today's video. So I'm doing this video a little bit different to most other YouTubers. So instead of actually going ahead and playing the game and then showing you a class setup, I'm just going to let some gameplay run in the background, show you the class setup in between the gameplay, and discuss exactly each individual attachment I've got on there. So the video will be a bit quicker, more straight to the point, so let's get to it. So first of all, guys, the secondary doesn't really matter. I always use the machine pistol, but don't actually ever use it. I tend to pick up another weapon off the ground, and I always run scavenger, ghost, and piercing vision on this class setup. Throwing knife and stun grenade, if any of you guys are interested in any of that side other than the weapon. But everybody has their own personal preferences on what perks they want to use, so that is totally up to yourself. However, if you want the most powerful Cooper Carbine class setup, then here it is. Let's go ahead and discuss each individual attachment that you can go ahead and use. So first of all then, guys, I'm going to be running the MX silencer on the muzzle. Now, of course, you have got the mercenary silencer, but in all honesty, I wouldn't go ahead using that, because it actually minuses your damage range by 1, and you want to try and get the most damage range as you possibly can. Of course, it does increase your recoil and your sound suppression, but you want to go ahead and use the MX silencer. Now, the reason for this being is, yes, it increases your sound suppression, as you know, that's what a silencer does. Increases your accuracy by 1, but it does reduce your aim down sight speeds by 1, which, yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, but as soon as you see the rest of the attachments, you can see why I chose this one, as it is the best fit. So the barrel then, there's quite a few different ones you can go ahead and use. Of course, the Ragdoll G45 is probably something I would normally go for, as you get higher bullet velocity, range, recoil, control, but your hip fire accuracy and your fire rate is not as good, so it makes the weapon a lot slower and a lot less accurate if you are up in those close personal gunfights. So if you want to turn this into a bit like an SMG, then it's not always the case. However, what I tend to use is the Cooper Custom, which is a nice universal barrel for any kind of gunfight. It does increase, well, it says the pros are highly accurate and controllable, reduce scope sway and gun bob, and it does increase fire rate. Sprint to fire speed does reduce, hip fire accuracy does reduce, and aim down sight speed does reduce, but all this will increase as soon as you go ahead and use some of the alternative attachments that's actually on this weapon. So next up then, guys, the optic. We're going to be using slate reflector. You know that there's no cons on there. You get better sight picture, small rectangle sight. It's, in all honesty, guys, there's not a single other optic sight I would actually use in this game, because I do think most of them are pretty much shit. Politest way to put it, they're not very good at all, hence why I always use the slate reflector with any weapon that I have a sight on. So then the stock, guys, let's move over to that. So I run the remove stock. I used to use the Cooper 485 RS all the time, but I realized that actually since I've been using the remove stock, it seems to have a lot better movement than weapon. So you do get +2 movement speed, +1 sprint to fire speed, +1 aim down sight speed, -2 recoil control and accuracy, and -1 aim walking steadiness. However, you don't see a big difference in this, in all honesty, as of course when you go and put yourself an underbarrel on, it does help increase everything. Now, I used to use the Carver foregrip a lot on that, because you get 2+ in recoil control, but it made the weapon a bit slower to aim down your sights, so your ADS is, it drops with that one. So you're better off with the M3 steady grip. Your ADS actually goes up by 1, sprint to fire speed goes up by 1, and aim walking movement speed goes up by 1. So it does help counter some of the other cons that you've had on some of the previous attachments that we've used. So the con on this, you do get a little bit of recoil control, but in all honesty, guys, if you learn how to use recoil and how to control recoil anyway, so for example, you need to find out which way your weapon's bouncing. So if it's bouncing off to the left, the right, up, whichever, you want to counter it slightly with your right analog stick to the opposite way of where it's going to be bouncing to. So then the magazine, guys, the 60 round drum mags is pretty cool. You get plenty of bullets, but it does decrease your bullet velocity range range, bullet penetration, damage, reload quickness, all that good stuff. So in all honesty, your best one is literally the 45 round mags. Fantastic, to be fair. So it does increase your bullet velocity and range by 2, damage by 1, bullet penetration by 1, and magazine ammo capacity by 1. However, it does reduce recoil control and accuracy by 5, aim down sight speed by 3, fire rate by 2, and movement speed by 1. But because we've used the other attachments, it makes it all round balanced on your movement speed. Now with the ammo type, I use compressed rounds. To be honest, the only other ones I'd probably change it to frangable, which is decent, hollow point, but your damage range does drop quite a bit. I used to use lengthened a lot, but I just feel like the compressed rounds just seem to be a lot better, in all honesty with you. With the rear grip then, guys, staple grip, +2 recoil recovery, +1 initial accuracy and recoil. There's no actual cons with the staple grip. To be honest with you, I don't really use any of the others. I've used granular grip a few times, maybe tape grip, but apart from that, I don't really tend to use any of the others that are there. And then the last two then, guys, so for the kit, fully loaded, I always want to start with the max the max amount of ammo. I suppose you could probably use some of the others, but in all honesty, I don't really recommend any of them, unless you want to get like, you level up your weapons and use surplus, or if you're using sniper then, and you like to hard scope, and that deep breath's pretty good. But fully loaded, you always want the max starting ammo if you are going for those, the best kill streaks possible out there. And then lastly, proficiency, you want to use icy veins. So of course, with that being said, on there, there's quite a few you can use once again. I sometimes like using tight grip. That's what I do tend to use, sometimes. Maybe discard, +1 empty reload quickness. But to be fair, icy veins is probably the best one on there all round. What it does is it increases your reload quickness while injured, and actually increases your accuracy and recoil while injured suppressed. So it is pretty useful when you're injured. You can, you still have the quickness of reloading, you still have the great accuracy there. So that, guys, is all 10 attachments on there, all fully equipped and ready to use. Like I said, throughout the video you will see action gameplay in the background when we keep jumping in between class setup. I'm not really gonna chuck the class setup too much, but I'll leave it here up on screen now for you guys to see that in full. I hope you enjoyed this video, something different, something I've not done for a while. Hopefully you enjoyed how I've edited this together as well. If you want to see it like this in the future, feel free to do so. Or if you want to see me using the weapon and then doing the class setup towards the end of the video or the beginning, then also let me know. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next video.